Galloway's presents Tech Talk at 3 with Lauren Moran, Orcam Technologies. Okay, so yeah, good afternoon, everybody. It's Andrew from Galloway's. Welcome to Tech Talk at 3. Really pleased today to be joined by Lauren Moran from Orcam. How are you doing, Lauren?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Hope everybody's well.
Excellent stuff. I'm just looking. Where is he? Where's Lionel Messi?
Yeah.
I'll let you tell.
Unfortunately, he's not here. No.
Is he not here today? I'll let you tell that story anyway. That might be a good little start. That might be a good place to start with, actually. So, welcome to the gang. It's great to have you back again to give us an update on everything Orcam. Really exciting stuff. So over to you.
Great stuff. Thanks, Andrew. So, yeah, as Andrew mentioned, my name's Lauren, I'm from Orcam, and today I'm going to be talking to you about our new kind of flagship product, the Orcam MyEye Pro. Now, I joined Galloway's Tech Talk a couple of weeks ago, and I actually spoke about the Orcam Read, and I know that a few of you have mentioned it today anyway, so I will come on to that at the end, so don't worry. I will talk about that product as well. But I just want to focus today on the MyEye Pro, which is our new kind of flagship product with all the features. I'll touch on most of the features and I'm going to demonstrate most of them. But to be honest, if I went through everything, we'd be here for hours, and I don't want to take up the whole of your Thursday afternoon. So we'll keep it as compact as I possibly can. Okay, so first of all, a little bit about Orcam for those of you who perhaps haven't heard of us before. So Orcam's been going around about 10 years now, and we've been in the UK for just over 5 years. And we provide assistive technology for people who are blind, visually impaired, and or have reading difficulties, such as perhaps reading fatigue or dyslexia or dyspraxia. So as I say, I'll talk through the two products, and then hopefully there'll be a bit of time at the end for some questions and answers. So feel free to pop them, I think, in the chat box if that's okay, and then we can go through those at the end, or feel free to ask them at the end. Okay, so the Orcam MyEye Pro is the wearable platform. Okay, so I'll show you the device first of all, and then I'll talk you through the features. So the best way to describe it, okay, it's about the length of your finger. Okay, it's about the length of your finger, and this is the one that attaches onto the side of a pair of glasses. Okay, now it's completely portable. Okay, it's wireless. So this thing that perhaps you see here is not a wire or anything like that. It's a lanyard. Okay, so we always recommend popping the lanyard on. It's such a small device. If this was to fall off the glasses or fall onto the floor, by all means, that's not a good sign. So what I would say is pop the lanyard on, and then if it does fall off the glasses, by all means, the lanyard will catch it. Okay. Now, the way that it attaches onto the side of a pair of glasses is via a magnetic mount. So if on my pair of glasses here, okay, I've attached a mount to my own glasses. So the mount is just attached via some, so you just pull it a bit like a cable tie. So you pull it tight, and on the side of the mount, okay, is two magnets. And that's how the Orcam attaches on. Okay, so it's via a magnetic mount. Now, it's quite a strong magnetic mount, and I'll show you that in a second. But what this means is you can actually attach this to any of your own glasses. Okay, so whether you've got reading glasses or sunglasses or anything like that, you can attach them onto your own glasses. Now, don't worry if you don't wear glasses, because in the box, Orcam actually provides a blank pair of glasses, okay, with the mount on the side, right? Now, the mount can go on either side, left or right, depending which one's better for you. I pop it on the right. So I'm just going to pop it onto the side of my glasses, okay? And it literally just attaches on via a magnet. And as I say, it's quite a strong magnet. So if I move my head up and down, left and right, you can see it's not going to fall off. I'm just going to put the lanyard around my neck just in case, okay? Because I don't want it to smash on the desk, okay? So just to explain the features that are included in the Orcam MyEye Pro. So the first feature is a text-to-speech. It's a reading device, okay? And there are 3 different ways that you can read using the Orcam MyEye Pro, okay? So we'll come on to each of those. The second feature we're going to run through is the facial recognition. So this is where everybody gets a little bit interested because this is a fantastic feature. And this is where Lionel Messi actually appears, but unfortunately, it's just a photo. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to do it in person with him. But the other features that I'm going to come on to are barcode recognition, okay, product recognition and banknote recognition. And then I'm also going to show you today our brand new feature, which is the smart reading feature. Okay, so let's start at the beginning. Stick with me, guys, stick with me. I'll try and make this as fun and as enjoyable as possible. And as I say, any questions, feel free to jot them down and we can come to them at the end. Okay, so the reading feature, first of all, so there are 3 different reading modes for the Orcam My Eye Pro. The first one is automatic, really straightforward. You pop a piece of text up in front of the device, okay, and without doing anything, the device will take a picture of the piece of text and start reading it back to you. Really straightforward, exactly as it sounds, okay? One thing to bear in mind with all of these features, you've got a camera, okay, right next to your glasses here, okay? Now, that's quite unusual, okay? It's very rare that we would ever have a camera right next to our eyes. So by all means, just remember that as you perhaps, tilt your eyes down, just make sure that you're always moving your head as well, because that camera has got to capture what's on that page in front of you. So where we might just sort of lower our eyes slightly, you've got to remember that the camera doesn't do that without you physically moving your head. Okay. So as I say, first feature, really straightforward, automatic page recognition. Pop a piece of text up in front of you, let the device take a picture of the text and it will read it back to you. There's a camera on the front of the device and a speaker on the back of the device near the ear. Okay, so it takes a picture with the front and then it will read it back to you using the speaker at the back. So the speaker's right near your ear, so it helps as well with any kind of any sound that's going on elsewhere, because it's right by your ear. Okay. There's a touch bar on the side of the device, which is a long, thin touch bar, and that's what you use to operate the device. Okay, and that's via swiping up the touch bar, okay, or swiping down the touch bar, or by just tapping the touch bar just in the middle to capture the page of text in front of you. Okay. Now, the second reading mode is manual. So what I'm going to demonstrate now, I've got a book here in front of me, which is a book that I'm currently reading, and I'm on chapter 16, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the text in front of me, okay? When I'm happy with the position of the text, I'm going to tap the touch bar just once, okay? And then I'm going to hear the device take a picture of the text in front of me. So here, it will take a picture of both sides of the text and it will begin reading back to me, okay? Now, don't worry, you're not going to have to sit here and listen to both pages. I will stop it after a couple of seconds, just to save you having to read the whole book. And you'll see how I stop the device as well. The way I'm going to stop it, I'm just going to raise my hand, just about 30 meters from your nose, okay, and the device will stop reading. Okay, so let's try that, and I'm hoping you'll be able to hear this. So I'm just going to wake it up, because it's just gone to sleep. Okay, so just turn the volume up there, just by swiping up the device, and it says volume maximum. Okay, so here's my page of text in front of me. I'm going to position my page of text. Okay, I'm going to tap the touch bar just once, let it take the picture, and then it's going to read it back to me. So hopefully you'll be able to hear this. What I will do is when it's reading, I'll just take the Orcam off my glasses and I'm going to pop it, okay, just near the speaker of my laptop, just so hopefully you'll be able to hear it a bit better. So let's try that. So one touch.
Chapter 16, Emily fell asleep in the car, although it wasn't a long journey. When she woke up, as they drew up in front of the house, she said, "I'm so sorry. You've been through everything I went through and you're still awake."
Okay, so hopefully you could hear that. So that was just a couple of sentences. And by the way, it read it absolutely perfectly. So it started from the top and read chapter 16, and then it read the first couple of lines here just before I stopped it. Now that would have read both pages, okay, continuously if I wasn't going to stop it. What you would then do is simply turn the page and start again and take the next picture, okay? So really, really straightforward. There are 2 ways to stop the device. Either the one that I showed you, either by just raising your hand, okay, and it will stop the device, or you can simply touch the touch bar again when it's talking and it will stop, okay. So that's the second reading mode. So just to reiterate, we've got automatic, you don't need to do anything. We've got manual, you press the touch bar once and it takes the picture. And the third and final reading mode is gesture. Now this is whereby you point to a specific part of the text that you want the device to read from. So this is great if you are revisiting a piece of text and you perhaps don't want to start at the top of the page, but you might want to start halfway down because you've already read that bit. So you're coming back, you're revisiting it and you're starting from halfway down instead. Now the way that you activate this feature is by pointing, okay? And all I say with this one is just make sure that your nail bed is facing upwards, okay, up towards the sky, and it's about 30 centimeters from your nose. And the reason for that is if I was to point sort of horizontally, okay, the camera next to my eyes on the Orcam won't be able to see my finger. Okay, and the whole point of gesture mode is that the device recognizes the gesture of your finger on the page, and that's where it knows where to start from. So I'm going to start from halfway down this second page. I don't want to read from the top because I've already read that bit, so I'm going to start halfway down. So I'm going to position my finger, wait for a couple of seconds, okay, let the device take the picture, and then it will read it back to me. So let's try that.
Saying, so why don't people say they're going to wash their feet because they'd have to take their socks off, said Alice. And people maybe don't want to do that, but if they're really...
Okay, so there what I did was I positioned it halfway down and that's where the device started reading from. Okay, so really straightforward. You've got the 3 different reading modes, so we'll just go through them one more time. We've got automatic, don't need to do anything, just hold a piece of text up and it will read it to you. Second one is manual, you touch the touch bar just once and it will read it back to you. And the third one is gesture, whereby you point to a specific part of the text and it will start reading back to you. Okay, now for any of those, you can pause the text. So if it's reading quite a long document and you just want to go and make a brew or nip to the bathroom, whatever it is, and you don't want it to lose its place, then by all means, by pausing it, okay, you can do so. So by pausing, all you have to do is when it's reading, you double tap the touch bar, okay, and it pauses. And when it's pausing, it will constantly beep, okay? So every 2 seconds, it just beeps, and that just tells you that it's in pause mode. When you want to resume from where you left off, you double tap again, and it will start from where you left off, okay? Or you could use gesture mode, you know, if you wanted to stop the device, you knew where you were up to, you could go and make a brew, go and grab some bickies, and then come back. Using the gesture mode, you point from where you left off and the device will start reading from there. Okay. And the final thing to mention with the reading modes is the ability to skip forward through the text. The Orcam is perfect for people who consume large amounts of text. Okay, so whether that's things like coursework, you know, articles that you might have to read to help with studies or something like that. Where we can sort of skip through the text usually, the Orcam can do that as well. So when the device is talking to you, okay, if you were to swipe up that touch bar as Amy's talking, the voice on the Orcam, Amy will skip ahead a couple of lines. And she can do that because the device has taken a picture, okay, it's got the whole text in it. So we're not scanning this sort of line by line or anything like that, okay. So it means that she can skip forward through the text. And if you keep swiping, she'll keep skipping forward, a sentence at a time, okay? And likewise, if you just want to go back a couple of sentences and you want to re-listen to something, by all means, you can swipe backwards, okay? And she'll skip back a couple of lines, okay? So it just means that you can quickly get through a piece of text rather than having to sit and listen through it all if there's a, you know, particular point that you're not as interested in, okay? So that's a really good, useful piece, and I know a lot of people do use that feature, particularly, like I said, if it's large amounts of text. Okay, so that's the reading modes, the 3 different reading modes. The next feature I just want to touch on is the facial recognition. So facial recognition is a fantastic feature, and so many people that go for the My Eye, this is the reason why they go for it, because it's phenomenal. So, and this is a real kind of indication of the Israeli tech that goes into Orcam. We are an Israeli-based company. I'm not. I'm obviously based up in Manchester. You can probably tell by the northern accent. So not far, I imagine, from a few of you, and covered in snow at the minute, obviously. So yes, so facial recognition is fantastic. I'll be honest, it's very, very difficult to demonstrate over a Zoom call, but we've got a little bit creative today. I'm going to actually do this using a picture. And yes, the picture I've chosen, Andrew, is Lionel Messi, quite in keeping with Orcam at the moment.
Wouldn't expect anything other than that.
Yeah, exactly. So just so a few of you are aware, last year, actually Lionel Messi became an ambassador of Orcam, something which we are extremely proud of. You may have seen some of the videos online, but a fantastic campaign that we launched last year. So absolutely, it's brilliant to have him on board. So facial recognition. The device can store up to 150 faces in the device. Okay. And in order for the device to recognize a face, that face has to already be stored in the device. Okay. So the way that you do this is you set people up within this device. Okay. Now this is much easier face to face because you would stand in front with somebody. Okay. You would tap the device and it would identify there's a person stood in front of you. You would then tap and hold the device, and very, very quickly, the device will take lots of photos. So it'll be snapping away, okay? And you ask the person in front of you to lift their head up and down, left and right, okay? And all that does is it allows the device to capture them from all different angles. You then say the person's name after the beep, and that person is stored within the device, okay? So I did this previously with a picture of Messi online. So I got a picture of him up on my screen. I saved him into the device. So when I look at this picture in a second, you should hear the device say, in my words, Lionel Messi. Okay, so let's try that. Let me grab him up on screen. There he is. So I'm going to touch the device. I'm going to touch the touch bar just once, and then I just want you to listen out for the words Lionel Messi. Okay, so I'm hoping you can hear that. So first of all, I just turned the volume up just to make sure. So it went volume max, and then it said Lionel Messi. Okay, so that just shows that he is now stored in my device. Okay, so I'm going to do that one more time so you can hear. Okay. And what it's done then is it's trying to identify some of the text which is on the page as well. So I've got, it says, see all photos, edit and create, all that kind of stuff. So that's what it's trying to picture. So this is fantastic feature. If this is fantastic from an independence point of view, what we would say to people is get your friends and family set up, okay, people that you come into regular contact with. I know for a fact one of my colleagues, Ian, who's based up in Scotland, the most important person he has on the Orcam is the Amazon driver, because all the deliveries that he gets when he opens the door, he knows for a fact that his Amazon delivery is here, and he is ordering hundreds of Amazon deliveries. So that's a fantastic example of the type of, what we want people to use the device for. So it might be the post lady or the postman. It could be your friends and family. It might be carers if you've got carers coming in. And from that, you just know exactly who it is that stood in front of you. Okay. So that's a facial recognition. The next one I'm going to come on to, really straightforward, is banknotes. Again, from an independence point of view, if you're out and about and perhaps you rely on somebody else to look at the banknotes in your purse or your wallet, the Orcam will recognise English and Scottish banknotes. All you need to do is pop the note up in front of the device, inside out, upside down, and it will recognise it. So I've got £20 here, so I'm going to pop it up. Okay, and I just want you to listen to the device say £20. Okay, hopefully you heard that. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it upside down, okay, because I want to show you that the device will recognise it, whether it's upside down, inside out. So let's try that. £20. Okay, so it's upside down, okay, but straight away it recognises exactly what it is. So you know when you're at the cashier, for example, you know exactly what money you're giving it and exactly what money you're expecting, what change you're expecting to receive as well. Okay. The next feature is barcode. Okay, so this is the barcodes feature. So again, there's hundreds of barcodes already stored within the device. And a lot of these barcodes are well-known barcodes. Okay, very well-known barcodes. Now I struggled to find something because I actually shop at Lidl and Aldi, and unfortunately, they don't have a lot of well-known brands. So I scoured my cupboards this morning trying to find something that the device would recognise, and I found my Fairy Liquid. So all I need to do is scan the barcode at the back. So I'm going to point to the barcode, okay, and then it's going to tell me exactly what the product is. Okay, so let's try that. So I'm just going to point to this barcode, and the device should recognise what it is and tell me. Okay, perfect, spot on. Fairy 1 original. That's what it told me. Okay, and I obviously need some more, so I'll put that on my list. And then the other, if a barcode isn't recognised, so most of the stuff in my cupboard unfortunately is not recognised, you can add barcodes in. Okay, so you can add your own barcodes in. So that's what I've done this morning. So I've got here my, this is like the Price is Right, this, isn't it? Bringing the next thing in. Right, so I've got here my Lidl tomato ketchup. Okay, now this isn't recognised in the device because it's not a well-known brand. So what I've done instead is I've actually put this into the device. So I press the barcode, okay, and it said to me, the device said barcode not recognised. So all I did was press and hold the device, okay, it took a picture of the barcode, and after the tone, I named what it is. So I've named this as Lidl tomato ketchup. So now if I scan the barcode, you should hear the device say, in my words, Lidl tomato ketchup. Let's try it. Lidl tomato ketchup. Okay, so that wasn't me saying it, I promise. That was the device telling me what that barcode is and what that product is. Okay. So we've run through quite a bit there. We've done the reading features. We've done facial recognition. We've done banknotes. We've done barcodes. The other new feature I want to come on to is the smart reading. So whereby at the minute, the device talks to you. Okay, you listen to the device, it takes the picture, you listen. You can now talk to the device. Okay, so the smart reading feature allows you to do that. So how I'm going to demonstrate this, I've got a utility bill here, okay, United Utilities, my water bill. What I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the smart reading feature, okay, and I'm going to do that by double tapping the side of the device, and after the beep, I'm going to say smart reading. It's going to take a picture of the text in front of me, and then I'm going to pick out key parts of this text that I want to know. So I'm going to ask what the amounts are, okay, I want to know how much my bill is. I'm going to ask what date it is, so what date does it refer to, and then I'm going to ask what are the phone numbers, okay, how am I going to pay this bill? Okay, I'm going to ring up, so I'm going to need the phone numbers. So I'm going to demonstrate that feature now. I'm going to pick out those three things and let's see what it picks up. Okay, so I'm going to double tap the side of the device. Smart reading.
Note that some of the text was unreadable. Ready.
Read the amounts.
Found two amounts. First result. Bill charges for this bill are £24.45. Second result. £24.45.
Read the dates.
Found two dates. The 17th of December 2017 to the 19th of January 2018.
Read the phone numbers.
Found two phone numbers. First result. Call our automated line 0800 980 6050. Second result. UnitedUtilities.com/meter reading or call 0800 980 6050. And we'll send you an
Exit.
exit.
Okay, so I've just done that. I've just come out of that feature just by pressing exit. But hopefully you heard that. I'm hoping you did. But just to let you know what exactly that picked up, it picked up my two amounts. So it picked up here, £24.45, and again, £24.45. It picked up the dates. So this bill relates to the 17th of December 2017 to the 19th of January 2018. And then it also picked up the phone numbers at the top. Okay, so it just allows you, so smart reading allows you to pick out key bits of information. Okay, so perfect example for a bill. The next example I'm going to use is I'm going to use the vocal command that says start from. So I've got here an Indian takeaway. So I'll try not to make you all hungry. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this takeaway, and using smart reading, I want it to start from my house special dishes. Okay, so I'm not interested in the starters. Okay, I'm not interested in the tandoori dishes. I want it to start from the house special dishes. So I'm going to do that whole process again. I'm going to enter the smart reading feature. Okay, I'm going to take a picture and I'm going to say start from house special dishes. And what it should do is read the title and then continue on from there. So let's try that. Smart reading.
Note that some of the text was unreadable.
Start from house special dishes.
House special dishes, GEF. The following dishes are served with pillow rice or naan tandoori chicken masala. Coconut powder. Masala.
Okay, and I'll just pause it there just to stop you all getting hungry.
Let's try again.
Exit. Okay, so when you're in that feature, it's important to remember that the device is always listening, because it's always listening to your next command. So what it did there was it started from halfway down and it started from the house special dishes. Okay, so it's a fantastic feature. It's all done using artificial intelligence. Okay, and this is a brand new feature that we brought out towards the end of last year. Now that's the sort of main features on the Orcam My Eye Pro. There's one other feature to mention, which is the orientation, which is again a brand new feature. Okay, this is still at a pre-release stage. So although the feature is on the device, okay, we know it needs a bit of work. Okay, we're quite aware it's not quite there yet. What Orcam have done is they brought it out. Okay, so it's out there. And what it allows us to do is from our R&D department over in Jerusalem in Israel, we can push updates onto the device to enhance the current features. So to enhance things like the orientation feature. Now, the idea with this feature is similar to the smart reading. You double tap, wait for the beep, and you would say, what's in front of me? Okay, the device would then take a picture of your surroundings and it would identify key things, what's in front. So it would say, there's a door to your left and there are two computer screens in front of you. Or it might say there's a cup on the right, okay, and a computer screen in the center. Okay, so the feature is on the product, okay, but we know it needs more enhancements, more updates in order to make that feature perfect. Okay, so I'm not going to demonstrate that feature, and I think that's probably a good time to move on to the Orcam Read. Now, before I do that, there's just a couple of features which I just want to explain on the My Eye. We might get a couple of questions regarding these, but just other things that you can do via the settings menu. You can change the voice. So we've got Amy and we've got Brian. You can also increase the reading speed. So again, if you're looking to get through text a little bit quicker, or if you're wanting a leisurely read with the book, for example, then you can slow it down. You can also connect the device to Bluetooth. So for example, Bluetooth headphones. So if you're out and about and it's a little bit noisy, or you're at an event or something like that, out in a restaurant, for example, you know, you don't want the table next door to hear the Orcam if it's quite a quiet restaurant. And by all means, you can connect the device to Bluetooth headphones, okay, and that will work as well. Okay. You can also, it's also got a different language as well. So as a default, it comes with one additional language. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't translate. That would be perfect if we were going on holiday when they put that foreign menu down and everybody panics. but unfortunately it doesn't translate. It will just talk in that language. So if it comes across, for example, a piece of French text, it will read it in a French native language. Okay. So I'm sure you've got a few more questions on the Orcam My Eye, but just so we don't run out of time, what I do want to do is just quickly run through the new product, which is the Orcam Read, because I know a couple of people have mentioned it. So that's the My Eye Pro. I'm just going to pop this on standby just so I can't hear it going off in the background.
Waking up.
Right, and I'm going to wake this one up. Okay.
Is 68% charged.
This is like, here's one we prepared earlier and bringing it on. Okay, so so the Orcam Read, similar technology. Okay, as you can imagine, similar technology goes into all of our products. Completely different product. Okay, the Orcam Read is a handheld product. So whereby the My Eye was mounted on the side of my glasses, the Orcam Read is designed to be held like a pen. Okay, so you've got a couple of buttons running across the top of the device. Okay, and the best way to describe it is about the thickness of a highlighter. Okay, about the length of a pen. Okay, and it fits quite nicely. It's quite discreet. Okay, so if you were using it in a crowded area or if you're using it in a classroom situation, it's a discreet product. And this is primarily a reading device. Okay, it's got two different laser reading modes, and it's also got the smart reading that we just went through on the My Eye Pro. Okay, this is a perfect device for people with reading fatigue or reading difficulties such as dyslexia. Okay, and the idea is it captures a full page of text, okay, from a printed or a digital surface, and it will read it back to you. Okay, so quickly run through it, and then we'll do a quick demonstration on this as well before we move on to questions. So you've got a camera at the very front of the device, okay, similar to the My Eye, and you've got two targeting lasers at the bottom of the device. Now we'll come on to those a bit later. Running along the top of the device, okay, at the very front, you've got a large round button, which is the trigger button. Trying to get in focus there so you can see it. Next to that, you've got plus and a minus. Plus and a minus button are the volume buttons. All these buttons along the top are raised, and they're all different sizes as well, and different shapes, so you can identify between them. And then further along, you've got 4 LEDs, which are your battery indicators. And then next to that, you've got your power button. Okay, now on the flip side, you've got an aux lead for some wired headphones. So again, complete privacy. No one else needs to hear what you're reading or what you're listening to. Okay, so the two targeting lasers, this is how you capture the text in front of you. Okay, now the first laser is a laser frame. When you press that trigger button and point the device towards a piece of text, okay, 4 corners of a laser frame will appear on the text in front of you. And the device is designed to capture anything inside those 4 corners. Okay, you can change the size of that text by moving the device further away. Okay, and the frame gets bigger and the more text is included within the frame. Or if you want to home in on a piece of text, okay, you can move the device towards the page, the frame gets smaller, and it will just capture what you want it to. Okay, so let's try that. I'm going to get out my trusty Mary Berry's Baking Bible. This is what we've all been doing through lockdown. I can't say I'm getting any better, but I do keep trying. So points there for trying. Okay, so I'm going to turn to my chocolate brownie recipe, chocolate chip brownie recipe here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to wake it up. It's gone to sleep while we've been chatting. Okay, so the first thing I want to show you is the laser frame mode on the piece of text. Okay, so as I point this towards a piece of text in front of me, 4 corners of a red laser frame will appear with a red dot in the middle. Okay, now I just position that around the text that I want to read. So for example, on this one, I'm going to use my chocolate chip brownie. So I want to hear the recipe for my chocolate chip brownie. I'm going to position the text. Okay, I'm going to point my device towards it. I'm going to press the trigger button. Okay, and then when I'm happy with the position, I'm going to release it and it's going to read it back to me. Let's try that.
Chocolate chip brownies. A really simple brownie recipe. Just measure all the ingredients into a bowl and give it a good mix. Be careful not to overcook your brownies. They should have a slightly gooey texture. The outside crust.
Okay, so just stop it there. If anybody does want these recipes, by all means let me know. and I will send them over. But what I've done there is captured my chocolate chip brownie recipe. Now that would have read everything if I hadn't have stopped it. So it would have read the little introduction at the top. It then would have gone on to my ingredients. All devices are designed to read left to right, okay, up, top to bottom. So it would have read my short ingredients there, and then it would have moved on to my methodology, okay? So that's the laser frame mode. Now the next thing I'm just going to show you on that laser frame is just homing in a little bit closer, just to capture only the bits that you want to. So on this page, okay, I'm going to pretend that I've got my ingredients. I've already done methods 1 and 2. Okay, so I just want it to capture around the start of number 3. Okay. I'm going to position it just there. I'm going to home it in.
In a separate bowl, whisk the egg whites until stiff but not dry. Then lightly fold into the mixture. Turn into the prepared tin and gently level the surface.
Okay, so that started from exactly that, number 3. Okay, so it can start from where I want it to start from. Now the second laser mode is different than so this time you don't get a frame on the page, you actually get a little laser cursor. So similar to what you get on a computer, okay, that little arrow that goes around. And I'm just going to swap the modes over now, just by pressing the plus and the minus button together, just once, just a quick press. Okay, pressed it once. And now when I press the trigger button towards the page of text, I've now got one single laser cursor. Okay, I've not got a frame anymore. I've just got one single laser cursor. Now this allows you to point the cursor to somewhere on that page, and the device will start reading from where the cursor is positioned. So again, if you're revisiting a piece of text and you're wanting to start halfway down, or this is perfect for products on the shelf in a supermarket. You can be, I've tried this, you can be walking down a supermarket, only because it's the only place we can go at the minute. Walking down a supermarket, you can point the device towards a product on the shelf and it will read out what's on that label. Okay, so again, fantastic. So I'm going to try this. So in fact, I'm going to try this on, I'm going to go back to my trusted tomato ketchup. So my ketchup's just going to be over here on the desk, okay? It's just here. I'm going to point my device towards it and I'm going to see what it captures. So there it is.
Condiments, pickles and sauces, tomato, ketchup, and...
Brilliant. So there, picked it up. It said condiments, pickles and sauces, tomato ketchup. Now when it started to say there, I stopped it and a little bit too impatient there, but what it started to say, it was then going to read down all the energy. So it's going to say the energy, how many calories, but we don't want to hear about that. So we'll move on with that. So yeah, so those are your 2 laser frame modes. You've got the frame, okay, which appears on the text, or you've got the laser cursor. Both work absolutely perfectly. It just depends which one's better for you. I use the laser frame to capture large pieces of text, okay, but I would use the laser cursor if I'm out and about and pointing it at or posters on the wall, for example. You can point it towards the wall, okay, and then it will read it back to you. So best to use both. Each are good for different things, so it's definitely best to have a go with both and see which one works better for you. And then the final feature, I won't go into it because we've already done it, but is the smart reading feature. So this is a feature whereby you can point it at a bill and you can say, read the amounts, read the phone numbers. You can also do it using a newspaper and you can say, read the headlines. It will identify the headlines on the page and then you can say, read article relating to what's on that headline. Okay. So real quick snapshot. I could talk for hours about these devices, but I don't want to take up any more time and I want to leave some time for questions. So those are the 2 devices. Today we've gone through the My Eye Pro, which is the flagship product, the one on the glasses, which has all the features. And then you've also got the Orcam Read, which is a handheld version, which is primarily a text-to-speech reading device, which doesn't have all of the features.
Really engaging, really great. Really great demonstrations there, Lauren, and can tell that you spend a lot of time with those devices, which is yep. Great. The smart reading for me is a wow, really a big wow factor for me. I really like that. And just to kind of understand that a little bit better, I'm assuming that the device takes a picture, and then once it's listening to you, I'm assuming that it's got the document in its memory already then. It's not capturing the document anymore once you speak to it. Got ya.
Absolutely.
You,
So
you
it
could
takes
put
that
it
initial
down.
picture, then
Yeah.
effectively, yeah, exactly that. You can put the device down, you can walk away. Similar with when you're capturing any text with the Orcam, because it takes a picture, effectively, I could then shut the book while the device is talking to me because it's already stored there, and I can then go on and do something else. So I don't need to be with the text at all times. I could take a picture and I could walk away, go and make a brew, and the whole time it can be talking to me the rest of that document.
So if you're reading a menu in a restaurant, because I know you demonstrated that one, could you say, if you would say read me the headings, would that potentially take you through the specials, the Balti specials? Would it potentially do that for you as well?
Yes. So what you could do in the headlines, because the read the headlines is mainly for newspapers. So obviously it identifies the size of the font, and that's how it identifies that it's a headline against the other text. But what you could do in a restaurant, for example, if you'd already had your starter or your mains, and they gave you the menu back to look at the desserts, you could take a picture of it in smart reading, and you could say start from desserts. So you don't need to read anything else because you've had everything else, and now you're just wanting to read the desserts. Yeah. Or you could say start from red wines or start from white wines, and then it would read just from that.
That's really cool. And I suppose you could guess as well, what was on the page. It might not be there, but you could guess it, and if it's there, it's going to read you those parts as well. That's quite interesting. Almost saying like, I wonder if they have got any. If you've got like a two-sided menu, you might try on each page, and you might be like, I wonder if they've got any burgers, and they might not have any burgers, but if they have, it's going to pick it up on the page, which is great.
Absolutely.
Oh, really, really good. I am going to try that smart reading thing now because I haven't tried it yet, and I love the idea of the smart reading. So I'll try that on the Orcam Read device. And we've got a couple of questions before we open the floor up to everybody. We've got a couple of questions chat for you, which hopefully you'll see there. I don't know if you've got them. They've come in. So if you could answer any of those, that would be great.
Yeah. So privacy and concern using Orcam glasses in general public. Yes, absolutely. So one of the biggest things with Orcam is the fact that it is completely standalone offline device. Okay, so we talk about privacy there and we talk about security. That means that as soon as that device is any of our devices, as soon as it's taken a picture and it's read it back to you, that picture's gone. Okay, there's no way of getting that back unless you recapture the page. So from a security point of view, there are no issues in terms of, keeping anything on the device. If you're out and about in the public, as you can imagine, and, people listening in to what you're listening to, again, pop your headphones in. If you Orcam Read, you can either pop wired headphones in or Bluetooth. And with the Orcam My Eye, again, you can put Bluetooth in. Okay. Excellent. So second one, is Orcam classified as a disability aid? Good question. So Orcam is actually classed as a medical product. Okay, it is actually categorized under medical products. In terms of where it's available, however, it is available through the DSA, which is obviously the Student Disability Allowance, and it is also available through Access to Work as well. As far as I know, I don't think it's classed as a disability aid. It's a medical aid is what it's kind of known as. Okay, hearing aid and glasses. Okay, so can you use and can you use Bluetooth phone conduction earphone? Okay, so you can use the Bluetooth to connect to hearing aids, no problem. There is actually something else as well that we are looking into. It's actually coming out this year. So Orcam have got a new product on the horizon called the Orcam Here, and I was just quickly going to talk about this product. There is a little bit of information out there online that you can get about this product, but it's not launched yet. It will be launched this year. Okay, when? Unfortunately, I don't have the answer to that. But what the Orcam Here does is it's a device that goes around your neck. Okay, so it's on a little thin lanyard around your neck. And people who have hearing aids sometimes will struggle in a room that's full of conversation, whether it's an event or a busy place. They will struggle to have conversations because of all the background noise. What the Orcam Here does is it filters out that background noise. So there's a camera here, okay, and it identifies where you're looking and who it is that you're looking at. And what it then does, and the technology is phenomenal around this, it then filters out everybody else in the room and it concentrates on that one person that you're looking at. Now it does that, there's a camera looking out and there's also a camera looking up, and it identifies where your head is, because we don't always turn our bodies when we're looking at somebody or talking to somebody. We might just tilt our head. So what the Orcam here does is it recognises, one, who it is that you're talking to by looking at your head movements, okay, and then it filters out everybody else in the room. So it allows you to have those conversations when everything else around you, you know, is still going on, and you can still have those really important conversations. So that's something just to bear in mind. As I say, there's a little bit of information out there. There's a video on the Orcam website that you can see in terms of how it works. It's a phenomenal piece of tech. We launched it at CES early 2020 last year, and we had a great response from it. It was absolutely fantastic. It actually won an award at CES, and that was just the one pilot demo that we've got out at the moment, but it is due to be released in the UK. Okay, so Orcam My Eyes 2 app. Is it possible to talk about the app if any new features? Okay, so there are no new features on the app, unfortunately. So there is an app that goes with the My Eye platform, and this allows you to find your device. If, for example, you put the device down, you pop it under a book, for example, and you can't find it, you can use the app to track where the device is. So it works on like a beeping mechanism. Unfortunately, not that I'm aware of, there's any new features coming to the app. But as I say, keep an eye out. To give you an idea on the technology behind Orcam, 80% of our 80% is the R&D in Orcam. Okay, so it's a phenomenal company that work tirelessly to come up and always kind of be one step ahead in terms of technology. So there's always new things on the horizon. Sometimes we get told about in advance, sometimes we don't. But obviously it's just making sure that everybody kind of finds out about it at the same time. But yeah, unfortunately at the moment there's no new features on the app.
Absolutely brilliant. I think that's all the ones on there. I'm just gonna quickly bring our friend Nigel in from Vision Aid to kind of mention if people are interested in more information and purchasing and getting the training with the Orcams, then Nigel is just going to mention Vision Aid quite briefly, and they're actually joining us next week. So it's a nice link up with Orcam as well. Hello there, Nigel. How you doing?
Hello. Yes, welcome. Welcome to my home.
Welcome to the gang. Welcome to the gang.
Hello. Yeah, thanks very much indeed, Lauren. That was a lovely demonstration. Just one thing that people might like to sort of add to that is that the Orcam connects to the bone conduction headsets. I don't know whether you've seen these, but they fit as a headset, but they fit just in front of the ear, and via bone conduction they send the sound back through to the working part of your ear. Now they work quite well, sometimes with people who have got a little bit of hearing difficulty. I can't say that it overcomes deafness, because it doesn't, but it helps with that. But the other thing is that if you have got issues with your eyesight, then rather than having to wear earphones, you can wear these bone conduction headsets, and you can get great sound quality from your Orcam. They're virtually 100% private, because you can't really hear anything going on without it, and so they're there. So that's a great addition to it, and you can also use them with your phone and everything else as well. So brilliant piece of kit, also available. But just to say, we've been working with Orcam in Vision Aid for a number of years now, and I'm delighted to say that we are still doing home demonstrations. We've got a COVID-safe procedure to go into people's homes. We are very, very careful. We clean everything. We do wear PPE ourselves, and we do check from our salespeople, and we check with people that we're visiting just before we visit, to make sure that nobody's showing any signs of having any infection at all. So we're trying to keep going, and we're trying to make things happen, and we're carrying out demonstrations, albeit keeping a distance as much as we can. There are one or two restrictions that we have to do. We have to ask you to shut your pets and things up, because apparently the COVID virus can be carried around on the coats of dogs, and it can be passed that way. So that's another quick tip: don't stroke anybody else's dog if you're out and you think you're 2 meter distancing. But
very good. Yeah.
well, just you know, it's shocked me as well. But yeah, just to say that we can do home demonstrations. The Orcam is not an inexpensive solution. However, if it works for you, it's really, really good value for money. And what we try and do is we try and carry out a sort of full home demonstration with somebody to make sure that the product's absolutely right for the person who's looking at it. And at the same time, if you decide to go ahead and purchase, then we can provide training as well to get you up and going, and to make sure that your new device is connected to your to the internet via your router, so that all the upgrades that that Lauren spoke about, when they do come through, they will automatically come through onto your product.
Excellent. And if people want to, obviously, I know you're going to be joining us next week to talk about various products, and you'll be mentioning Orcam again. And if people want to get in touch with Vision Aid to find out more, what's the easiest thing to do?
The easiest thing is to call us, and you can call us on the number that's coming up on your screen in a second. If I can just...
You might have to read it out, Nigel, actually, because we don't have the chat on normally in between. So you can give the number out, and people can catch it on YouTube as well. Again, so that would be great.
Okay, it's 01775 711977. So 01775 711 977. Alternatively, if you just go to Andrew, I'm sure he'll send an email through to me, and then we can get in touch with you that way.
Get the website there as well, the Vision Aid,
visionaid.co.uk.
Brilliant. I was impressed with you sharing your screen there, Nigel. That was really high tech. Excellent. Yeah, excellent. So I'm going to bring, thanks for that, Nigel. We're looking forward to having you on next week. It's great to have you with us today. I'm just working my wizardry today in terms of, it's like a television program. So let me replace you with Lauren, and now we got Lauren back again, which they're on the spotlight. Right, so I'm gonna, if we got about 10 minutes, have we, Lauren? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Open the floor and ask some questions. So what I'm gonna do is work my wizardry again. So I'll allow everybody to unmute themselves, and I'll ask everybody to unmute. So if you want to unmute yourself now, you can do, and Lauren's happy to take some questions if you've got any questions for her.
Andrew, it's Jenny.
Hey, Jenny. Oh, ladies first.
Yeah, I accept that.
Go on, Jenny.
We had a fascinating talk from I work with Andrew, by the way, from Deaf Blind UK last week, and their personal loop systems. I'm wondering how that would work with your Orcam read loop system, the new system that you've got. If you're in a crowded space and you're pointing to see who's talking, would the two work together?
Here.
Yes, sorry, yeah. So the Orcam here and a personalised loop system.
Okay. So the Orcam here, and this is, we haven't been given an awful lot of information regarding it, just because it's still a brand new product. And what Orcam do is they like to keep it under wraps a little bit, and then obviously when it's obviously released, then we find out a lot more about the technology behind it and everything that's involved. So as far as I'm concerned, in terms of how it works, so it doesn't necessarily work with an Orcam, if you like. It connects to the hearing aid. Okay, it connects to the hearing aid, and this is something again that just we're in talks with at the minute in terms of hearing aid companies to really understand how this is going to work in the UK. But effectively, yeah, so it goes around your neck. It's a little device, and it's got a camera on the front, and it's also got a camera on the top as well, which obviously monitors your head movement. So if you're in a crowded space and say there's a group of 6 of you, okay, and there's a lot of chatter going on and you're wanting to have a conversation with the person next to you, the way that it works is it identifies that you want to talk to that person, okay, and then it will filter out everybody else around you. So it will filter out that background noise in order to concentrate on that one person that's talking. Okay, so I'm not sure whether that will answer your question specifically, but unfortunately that's as much at the minute.
Yeah, I think so. If that's the case, if you're going to have that, then you're not going to need that personal loop system. And actually, your version sounds better because although you can take some of the background noise away with this personal loop system, the fact that you're using the camera technology to really focus in on someone is really quite important for a lot of our service users with dual sensory loss.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Great question.
No problem. And it's, to be honest, the Orcam, it's something that's been on the horizon for a while. There's been little bits leaked here and there about it, but we have been told that this year we are expecting to release that. So obviously there's a little bit delay with last year with the whole pandemic, but hopefully it will be released this year. Probably looking from 6 months towards the end of the year, I would have thought now.
Great Christmas present.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent stuff. I think we got John. John wanted to ask a question there. Go for it, John.
Well, 3, I think. Thank you, Lauren. It was an excellent demonstration. You mentioned about the Orcam being able to skip forward or even backward. If you're reading a book, for instance, does it automatically know when to tell you, or does it say, turn over to the next page?
Good question. So the device, say you captured 2 pages, okay, in a text. So you've held the device up in front of you, you've tapped the side of the device or pointed, okay. When the device comes to finish, that's how you will know that it's time to turn over the next page. Unfortunately, the device won't say we've reached the end of the page, it's time to turn over. Unfortunately, it won't indicate that. But what it should just do, providing that you've captured it okay, it will continue reading until there's literally no more text to be read. And that's when you know, okay, right, it's time to turn over now, time to turn over the page.
Pretty obvious, really. Colour contrast. You mentioned that you could use it in a supermarket, for instance. Now, there are some tins where, for instance, they have black writing on a red background. Now, that's very bad for me to read.
Yeah.
Is it capable of reading that sort of contrast?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, not a problem at all. So some of the examples today are, different colours on different backgrounds. Probably the best product for that will be the Orcam Read. Because as I say, you've got that cursor mode whereby you can point it towards a product, and providing you capture the front of the product, it will tell you any text that's on it. So you might get a little bit more than just what the product is. So before, when I tried to capture the tomato ketchup, it then started to try and read all the energy information and the ingredients and all that. So you might capture more than just the tomato ketchup, but you'd be better with the Orcam Read. You can point it towards the device and it will read what's on it. Yeah, there'll be no problems in terms of the contrast. It's good. I mean, in terms of the books that I've used here, you've got different colour writing on different colour backgrounds, and that's not an issue.
Right, lovely. Lastly, you mentioned Bluetooth. Now, with hearing aids, the NHS don't provide Bluetooth hearing aids, just too expensive for them.
Yeah.
So, other than the Orcam ear, which is, Jenny said, an excellent potential device of isolating person, a direct communication. I'm wearing ear hooks, which is a loop system. It's a 3.5mm jack. Did your Orcam have a facility for that jack?
So when it comes to Nigel, you might be able to.
Yeah, can I just jump in on that one? There are a number of things that you can do with the loop system. You can with the 3.5mm jack, you can plug that into the Orcam Read directly. and
Sorry, where, Nigel?
on the Orcam read, there is a 3.5 millimeter jack plug, and
Oh, that's a different apparatus altogether, isn't it?
yeah, but the alternative is that you can use a Bluetooth connector, and the Bluetooth connectors are wickedly expensive. They're £2.60 from eBay, and you can actually fit your loop system onto one of these Bluetooth connectors, and it will talk via that route.
Right. And that's
Oh, that's good.
a Bluetooth connector.
Yeah, I'll need to look it up. I haven't looked at it for a little while. I've got one in or around my desk. It's the size of half a pencil, and literally that the loop system, your personal loop system, plugs into that, and the Bluetooth, it will then connect via Bluetooth to your Orcam device.
Okay,
Lovely.
it's clever little workaround then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Not expensive.
There's battery charging. The only issue is that you have to make sure that everything's charged up.
Yeah.
But John, you may find that certainly with the Orcam MyEye Pro and the Orcam Read, is that they will, because it's whispering into your ear, you can choose whichever ear is the better ear. So if your right ear is better than your left ear, you pop it on the right side. And because it's whispering right into your ear, that does seem to protect the noise from the sort of outside noise as well.
Yeah.
You have to try it,
Right, I will do. Sorry, how much did you say the Bluetooth connector was? I had to eBay.
It's £2.50 to £3.
Oh,
It's
right.
more expensive than that. That's not too bad, is it?
No, not at all.
Not too bad at
Yeah.
all. Brilliant,
Right.
John. Thanks for
Thank
those
you.
questions. That's brilliant. Okay, have we got any other questions from anybody?
Yeah, it's David here from Morecambe. The subject of columns, how well does the Orcam Read and the other one, the wearable one, cope with columns? I noticed you had some bills, but I mean, bills are either a table or columns in that, and obviously people won't know that it's columns. And is it likely to get it all muddled like it would with a magazine article, the way it flows around the pictures?
Good question. Good question. So this is something that we've had from, and Nigel will probably agree with me here, that this is something we've had from day one. Now, the Orcam is always designed to read left to right, top to bottom, but unfortunately, it will struggle with tables. It will get them a little bit muddled up, and it's different every time that I use it, if I'm honest with you. I can try it in a table and it can work quite well. It can go down the left-hand side, then it can move on to the next one.
Yeah.
But it isn't designed at the moment to read columns perfectly. So unfortunately, it won't go from sort of left to right, and then move down. It's likely to go all the way down the left and then move across one. Well, that's what I've found when I've used it. However, what I would say is Orcam, and I hope that Andrew can agree with this, Orcam are really good in terms of feedback from our customers. So it is something that we have always been talking about. And I'm sure Nigel's been talking about this for a while.
Because us human beings, we know automatically without thinking how we should read a bill, for example.
Yeah.
It's the standards. It's also the standards of formatting, isn't it, as well? From various different sources. If there was one format that worked, for everyone, then you could get the AI to recognize it. Sometimes you get you get tables and boxes and with the columns and the rows, and then sometimes you don't get any boxes, even though it's in columns and rows. You don't get any boxes, on your bank statements. So it's one of those things. I think that I think eventually it'll get there, but it's one of those things that we're kind of we're looking for that perfect kind of solution where it will will do that. It's the same with like menus, restaurant menus and things, isn't it? As well, sometimes you have
No,
that
they have
problem.
pretty pictures sometimes as well. They're as bad as a magazine sometimes, menus.
Yeah, it's when the prices are at one side and
Yeah.
the dishes are at one side and the prices are next to them. Sometimes, if you're lucky,
Yeah,
it'll
the
read
board in the
across.
middle, for example. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're lucky, it'll read across, but it might read down all the dishes, and then it'll do all the prices as well. So
Oh, that's
it
fine if
is.
you're not bothered about the prices.
I think because there's so many
Yeah.
variations of text and formatting that can be used out there, I think, unless we standardized everything across the board, and then for sighted people it'd be really bland to look at. It's nigh on impossible. Andrew and I will probably tell you the same with our screen readers.
Yeah.
That as soon as somebody puts a different table up within a document, or however that document's produced, the screen reader just goes, no, not doing that, don't know what you're on about.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Be great. We just need everything in black and white, yellow on black. Just simple formats.
Yellow on blue, please.
Great. Yellow on blue.
There you go. Already I've caused a problem.
Can I just come in here? The reality of it. Hello, David. Lovely to see you again, and lovely to have your question again as well. The reality of daily life is that there are probably 2 or 3 things, unless you're an accountant, there are 2 or 3 things that you want to read. One of them is your bank statement, and your bank statement comes through in exactly the same way every time. Now, what you can do is you can make really just a line, cut a piece of paper, cut an oblong out of that piece of paper that fits over your that fits over your bank statement, and that will be the same for every one of your bank statements. So you can
similar to a signature guide then.
Yeah, something like that.
And it'll force it to read across, won't it? That'll force Orcam.
That's what it will do, and you'll be able to read it.
For it to pick out.
Yeah, you'll be able to read it line by line. If you are an accountant and you're reading differently formatted Excel spreadsheets, then you'll need something like sort of Zoom text to go in and do that for you.
It's all like Orcam hacks today. It's great.
It's brilliant. I'm going to take Nigel on all my webinars. We're going to become a right little team.
Excellent. You have to get David on though to ask the questions as well.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff. I think we'll take. We've got time for a couple more, Lauren.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
Is that all right? Yeah, go on. Let's have if anyone's got a couple more questions.
Please.
Yeah. Go on. Go for it, Yvonne.
Hi, Lauren. How does the Orcam Read cope with pictures in magazines or books?
Okay. So
silence.
Yeah, unfortunately, it won't pick up the picture. Okay, so it won't tell you what the picture is or anything like that. You may have noticed before when I was demonstrating the smart reading, it was coming up saying some of the text is unrecognizable or unreadable. And what that means is that's actually picked up a couple of extra things that are on that page. So for example, if I grab my bill up again, it was picking up things like the pictures at the top of the page. It was picking up things like the little logos of like United Utilities. So unfortunately, it won't recognise them. If there is a little piece of text underneath the picture, a little description of what the picture is, then it will pick up that text. Or if there is text included in the picture, whether it's, I don't know, speech bubbles or something like that, then it's likely it will pick up the text. But unfortunately, it would just kind of disregard the actual picture. It won't pick up that. Another question we sometimes get is handwriting. Does it pick up handwriting? This all depends on how neat your handwriting is. It's not designed to pick up handwriting. However, there are times when I've tried it and I've written something in block capitals, really clear, and it's picked it up. Oh. So it all just depends. But unfortunately, with pictures, it won't pick up. It'll just pick up the text.
Will it sort of indicate that there is a picture there in the way? I have a horse newsletter I'd like to read, but again, I'm told pictures are in the way.
Hi, Andrew. It's Jamal Ahmad. Sorry to interrupt.
Go on, Jamal. You adding to this question, are you?
No, I've got a separate question.
Oh right, okay.
I'll wait if you want. I don't mind.
Oh yeah, no, no. I think Lauren was just gonna finish answering that
Oh,
one,
sorry.
and then we'll come to
Sorry
you,
about that.
Jamal, if
Yeah,
that's all
sorry
right,
about
mate. No, that's okay. Go on, Lauren.
Yeah, so yeah, unfortunately, it won't say that there's a picture in the text or there's a picture in the way. What it will do is if there's text above the picture and then there's text below it, it will just read the text above it and then it will completely disregard the picture and it will carry on reading
Oh,
below
right.
it, provided that
Oh,
it's picked
okay.
it up. Yeah,
Cool.
okay.
Go on, Jamal.
Thank you.
Hi, it might be a bit of a daft question, but can you tell me what the prices are for the Orcam My Pro and the Orcam Read as well, please, if that's possible?
Yeah, of course I can, no problem. So the products that we've gone through today, so we've got the Orcam My Eye Pro. So this is the flagship product. It's got everything on, it's got all the different features on, and that retails at 3,700. Okay, and then you've also got the Orcam Read Smart, which is the one that we've gone through today, which retails at £2,000. Okay, now there is a product in the middle of that, which we haven't touched on today, but we have gone through the features of it, which is the My Eye Smart. So it's a wearable device. It's the one that clips onto the side of the glasses, but it is just the reading features. Okay, so it has the 3 different reading features, the automatic, the manual, and the gesture, and it also includes smart reading. Okay, and the My Eye Smart retails in the middle at 2,700. So you've got, just to reiterate, you've got £2,000 for the Orcam Read Smart. You've got 2,700 for the My Eye Smart, which is the wearable, and then our flagship product, the My Eye Pro, at 3,700.
Right, thanks for that, Lauren.
No problem.
Cheers. No, that's great. Thanks for answering that question. I've got a question as well for you, Lauren.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that fairy bottle once it's empty? Because I'm sure you could make a decent rocket out of that or something. I've been dying to ask you that.
Well, you've just reminded me that I obviously need to go and get some next time.
Yeah. I'm sure there's someone waiting for that to be emptied so they can make something out of it.
Yeah, probably.
So I just thought I'd bring in a little bit of humour there in between before we go to somebody else for another question. Any more questions from anyone?
Key here.
Go on, Key.
Does it cost anything to upgrade the software?
Okay, so we mentioned before that Orcam is a completely standalone offline device, so it doesn't require Wi-Fi to work. So both of my devices there, I've just switched on and I've just been working. However, okay, Orcam does update the features and enhance the features that we currently have on the devices. And the way that we push those updates is via Wi-Fi. Okay, so the way that you connect your device to Wi-Fi is you would simply type in on Google Orcam Wi-Fi. It comes up with the Orcam page. Okay, you enter your credentials. So you enter your home Wi-Fi details, your provider and your password, and it generates a QR code. All you would do is scan the QR code using the device, so whether it's the My Eye or whether it's the Orcam Read, and it's automatically connected to your home Wi-Fi. Okay, and that is how we push the updates on. Now, all the updates are free of charge, okay? And when those updates are available, like Nigel said before, they just automatically update. So you don't need to do anything. When you plug your device into charge, it will automatically connect to the internet. And if there's an update available, it will download it and it will give you a progression report as it's downloading. Okay. Now, it's unlikely that we would put new features on a device, because sometimes when we bring out new features, we bring out a completely new device. But what we will do with existing features is enhance the quality of them. So things like, the accuracy of them. So for example, the Orcam Read with the laser, we can enhance the accuracy of that. And we can enhance the existing features on there. So all the updates are free of charge. And as I say, when Orcam issues an update, it just gets pushed onto your device, providing it's connected to the Wi-Fi. Yeah,
that's a really good point. That actually, I suppose, in terms of setting people's expectations, and the device that you buy, the features that you get in there and then is what you're going to get. And as you say, technology can move on, and then that's when you need new hardware to power the new features. So I think as long as you guys know that when you're buying a device, that's more or less what you're going to have with this device. Don't expect any additional bells and whistles in the future. But obviously there are, you don't need to go into all the details, Lauren, but there are, you can trade in your old one and upgrade to a newer version and things like that, can't you, in the future? Those types of things are available as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't have it. So at the moment, unfortunately, for the My Eye up to the new Pro, we don't have an upgrade Pro just yet, but it is something that we're in talks with head office. We have always had them in the past, so we have like trading deals. Just because obviously it's still a brand new product for us, and obviously head office are constantly trying to kind of upgrade these products. So particularly on the My Eye, we mentioned it before. You've got the orientation feature. You know, it is a pre-release, so rather than releasing the Orcam My Pro without it and then having to bring out a new product later on, what we've done is we've included it on the product. Okay, we know it's not perfect, we know it needs some enhancements, we know it needs some updates, but you will get those updates, okay, on the existing devices. So yeah, absolutely. So you are buying into future updates of your existing features and not necessarily new features. Yeah,
Excellent.
it's always good to.
That's really good to have that to have that cleared up for people. Actually, that's really useful and really good. Well, I think it's been great sessions today. Really interesting and really engaging as well, Lauren. And I'm really thank you for coming along and showing us all the. I mean, I think we'll probably have you once or twice a year at the moment because I mean, things are moving on so much, and there's always something. There's always something new. It's just great to have you giving us an update on these products. And it's been great having Nigel jump in as well. But Nigel's going to be back next week with Vision Aid, who are going to be on Tech Talk at 3. So don't miss that. But thank you for that, Nigel. Really appreciate you popping in today. It's brilliant.
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem. And Lauren, brilliant. We look forward to. Please stay in touch with Galloway's, and we really look forward to having you again at some point.
I love coming on and doing it. It's brilliant, good fun.
Thanks,
Nigel. Thanks.
Definitely get you back again. Cheers, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.